So let me start by showing you guys the bike and then disclosing how many miles I have on the motorcycle. We'll talk about some of the trips that I recently took, and then we're going to go over a couple of items that you might want to consider purchasing if you're going to be touring on a bike like this. All right, so at this point, I think just about everybody has seen what the 120th anniversary road glides look like. No real shockers there. So let's fire up the bike, see how many miles I'll have on here. So currently I have, hopefully you guys can see that, 3,881 miles at the moment. And so now let's just spend just a couple of moments let me telling you guys exactly where these miles came from. So out of those 3,800 plus miles, the majority of those were really done in two trips that I had. One is that just about the time that I bought this motorcycle, I took it to Florida with a buddy of mine. We did about 1,700 miles or so. So that was a big chunk of those miles. And then recently I did the Ohio Windy 9 with some friends, went up and rode the Triple Nickel. Was a great time. I mean, if I had to guess, I didn't clock it, but I think somebody said about 1,300-ish miles or so. So you add those all up, that's the big chunk of those miles. Now, I have had a few other little weekend trips and that type of thing, but the majority of my miles that are not touring related is this on this little beauty over my left shoulder here, my Lowrider ST. So my mileage is divided up between two different motorcycles. So yes, the majority of my miles on this Road Glide have been touring miles at this point. And if you're going to do a long trip on a Road Glide like this, there's a couple of different recommendations of some purchases that you might need. I'll tell you what, let's start with the sissy bar that I bought from Hogworks. So just a standard backrest sissy bar from Hogworks. I purchased this one for about $219. I don't have this on the motorcycle unless I'm going for a trip. Holds a luggage bag that I'm going to show you guys as well. So let's get this clicked in. Well, I think at this point we all know how to click in the backrest and docking hardware. It's pretty simple. You just have to make sure, for starters, that your motorcycle has the docking hardware. And on these sides here, just fits in by the rear shock. Now that I've got that in place, one of the things I'd like to do is introduce you guys to the traveling bag that I use when I go touring on this bike. I just don't want a bulky tour pack on this motorcycle. I'm looking for more kind of a streamlined, clean, maybe even a sporty look to this bagger. Show you guys this bag, how it mounts on here, and we'll go from there. All right, so here's the travel bag that I use. This is the Harley Davidson Onyx bag. It's really cool because it's got the Velcro in the back that connects to the sissy bar on the backrest that I just showed you guys, and quite a bit of pretty cool compartments in here. So you've got some storage here, you've got storage here, and then of course your rain cover. So really deep there. You can put a lot of clothes, a lot of gear, everything you need in here. So I've used this several different times on several different motorcycle trips for 4 or 5 plus days. Completely rainproof when you put this on here, and it just straps to the back of the motorcycle super easy. So let me show you guys that. Well, that's a quick snapshot of my touring setup. Let's see, as I mentioned, the Hogworks backrest is going to run you about $219. The Harley luggage is around $300, $305, something like that. So that's the primary gear that I use. All the links will be in the description below if you guys are interested in any of these products. But enough garage talk. Let's get on the motorcycle, do a little bit of riding, talk to you more about my experience and impressions of touring on this Road Glide. One of the main things that I think you just have to notice when you go from touring on something like a street glide over to the Road Glide is just how the fairing handles the wind when you're out and about on the freeway, especially at higher speeds. I mean, I can tell you this, nothing against the street glide at all. I love the street glide, rode one for years, but the fairing when you were on the freeway and you're going at higher speeds, it just it's just different. The way that motorcycle handles is different. The air deflection is different. I love the size of the Road Glide fairing. You know, it just kind of wraps around you. Hey man, what's going on? And also is one of the things that I love is storage. You know, just really easy. Like if we're going for miles or hours and hours, and let's say my glasses or my sunglasses are starting to bother me a little bit, I can very easily just take those off. Look at this guy. I can very easily just take those off, throw them in the storage compartment, and be all set. So it just works out exceptional. Another thing I wanted to bring up is the way that the motorcycle just takes the wind. Like when you were blasting past an 18-wheeler, I really feel nothing. No problems at all. Now, if you're talking about straight line winds coming at you from the front of the motorcycle, I can't tell those. I think the Road Glide handles that exceptionally well. It's those crosswinds that I've noticed when we're out riding, that if there is a crosswind, it seems that I feel that a whole lot more on this Road Glide than the Street Glide. So I don't know if it's just that there's more surface area, it's a little bigger, it's a little bulkier, that type of thing, but those crosswinds can really push you around a bit. Well, one thing for sure, when you're touring out on a motorcycle, you're going to want a comfortable seat. So what are you going to go with? With me, I'm going to keep the stock seat on this motorcycle. There's a couple different reasons. One, because it's, you know, the colors and everything just matches on this 120th anniversary edition. But even more importantly than that, I'm perfectly fine with it. I think it's comfortable. I don't have any problem with it. And I've had some really plush seats on my motorcycles in the past, and I just don't have a problem with this one. So I'm going to keep it as is, but I know that's something that many of you out there will reconsider, and I totally understand it. Well, we've got some rain moving in the area, so I'm going to giddy up and head on home. But I would like to hear from you as far as when you're out on a long trip and you're touring, what do you do to pass the time? Do you listen to music? Do you talk to your buddies on your Senna? Do you listen to podcasts? What is it that you do to pass the time, just hours and hours, when you're out on the freeway getting from point A to point B? Let me know. Let's compare and contrast. All right, well, I hope you guys have a great day today. If you would, please like and subscribe. I hope you have an excellent day, and we'll talk to you again soon.